Thanks, Riaz. Good morning. A public meeting was held in Newton last night as the community gathered to discuss growing concerns about the safety of their neighborhood. Last night's meeting came about a week after 53-year-old Julie Pascal was viciously attacked outside the Newton Recreation Centre. She later died from her injuries. Many people were turned away last night as the Newton Seniors Centre quickly filled to capacity. Inside, some of the recommendations being made included improvements to street lighting, higher police presence, and additional surveillance cameras.
If you look at all the issues that have been pushed into Newton in the last few years, that's the problem. It's not the police.
Police are investigating a violent sexual assault in Surrey's Fleetwood Park area. A 25-year-old woman was approached by a man on Sunday evening between 5 and 6 o'clock and taken to a nearby baseball field where she was attacked. The suspect is described as a pale-skinned man. He's 25 to 35 years old, 6 feet tall, with prominent cheekbones. He was wearing black track pants with white stripes running down the outside of the left leg and baggy dark hoodie. And a public warning has been issued after a woman was sexually assaulted in downtown Vancouver at around 7:30 on Sunday night. A 30-year-old woman was walking down Burrard Street near Davie when she was pushed to the ground and attacked. She was able to defend herself by biting her attacker and running away. The suspect is an Asian man in his 30s, 5'4", with a slender build and short black hair. He was wearing a dark shirt, light-colored jeans, and was carrying a bright yellow backpack. Today marks the one-month countdown to the Winter Olympics in Sochi, and these will be one of the most expensive and arguably one of the most contentious games in Olympic history. For more on this story, we go live to Greg Harper in downtown Vancouver. Greg.
Good morning, Jody. Yeah, here at Jack Pool Plaza, we have the Olympic cauldron, of course, behind us, which is looking very red this morning. It isn't burning, but of course it did in those 2 weeks in February, nearly 4 years ago now. And remember the month leading up to the 2010 games in Vancouver, the weather was an issue. That isn't one in Russia, but there are certainly other issues that country is dealing with. One of them, the controversy over security issues, gay rights issues as well, not to mention the cost overruns. Russia is spending around $51 billion for the games in Sochi. Compare that to the around $7 billion it cost to have the 2010 games here in Vancouver. Also, many leaders are not attending the games to protest Russia's anti-gay propaganda law. Russian President Vladimir Putin has promised no discrimination at the Olympics, but critics say that won't change the hardship for many Russian citizens.
I suspect there will be some symbolic displays and some gestures of defiance or protest from both participants, from the athletes themselves, and probably from spectators as well. And I suspect that they will not face legal sanction from the Russian government, in the sense that the Russian government's too smart to spoil its $51 billion Olympics.
And Jody, coming up, we're going to learn how the medical staff on our Canadian Olympic team, how they're making sure our athletes are ready to go. Jody?
All right, looking forward to that. Greg Harper reporting live for us this morning from downtown. An overnight wind chill of about -40 in the Toronto area is causing big problems at Pearson Airport this morning. The extreme cold is causing equipment to freeze and creating safety issues for employees at Canada's busiest airport. A ground stop was in effect until the top of this hour, meaning planes were not allowed to land, and extra police were called to the airport early this morning when a crowd of about 300 people crowded around a luggage carousel because so irate because they could not get their bags. No major delays reported at YVR to Toronto or other eastern destinations for that matter, but you should keep a close eye on conditions before you head to the airport. The cold weather is also hammering parts of the United States. A state of emergency has been declared for parts of New York State thanks to a heavy dumping of snow. 188 million people could be affected by the frigid weather system before it leaves by the end of the week. Security questions are being raised after two climate change activists managed to get within arm's length of Prime Minister Stephen Harper at a business event in downtown Vancouver.
I'd like to take a minute and have some folks removed from the stage. It wouldn't be BC without it.
The two crashed the Board of Trade event by simply wearing black clothing and aprons. One was quickly thrown off stage by the Prime Minister's security detail and was temporarily held for questioning. The protesters say they simply wanted to draw attention to the Conservative government's inaction over climate change.
We just dressed in all black and came a little bit earlier and walked through and were able to get through the room and onto the stage. It was quite simple, actually.